Hello, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at your service. My name is Carmen Nieves, and I am your host. And we come to you live each Tuesday at 6:30, live via Soundview Community Media TV. And we feature individuals that are making a difference in the community by the work that they do and how they serve it. And today, like every other show, is no exception. I have the greatest opportunity to have met this gentleman because my friend who you guys know, Natalie Price and Jessica and Jen Cuevas, were doing a youth panel for folks that we've had on the show before, which Bridgeport got either youth leaders and youth entrepreneurial. So we were sitting on a panel and we hit it off immediately. And so I want to introduce to you Rozha Pessoa, who's the entrepreneur with Black Vac Services, Feed the People. He's an educator, a paraprofessional, and an all-around great person. Rozha, how are you?
I'm doing good, Carmen. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for coming and braving the traffic to get here to us today. I'm so excited to have you on the show. First, I want to talk a little bit about you because you're not a native to Bridgeport, but Bridgeport is where you call home.
Absolutely.
And everything circulates around what you do. Tell me a little bit about you. How did you get here? Kind of what excites you?
I took a plane. I took
Okay.
a plane from Jamaica. I came here 2001 actually. So 9/11 was really like my welcome to America type
Oh,
of.
wow.
Yeah, it was that
Okay.
summer. So it was like, hey, you're jumping into it. And ever since then, Bridgeport was really just home. You know what I'm saying? It's taken care of me. I've taken care of it. You know, I've built nothing but great relationships out here, and the city's beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how could you, the type of food that's out here alone, like you can't really be mad at Bridgeport. So, yeah, I personally enjoy. It's crazy. I'll let you know right now. I'm a problem starter. So I enjoy. I'll let you know off rip. I do eat pineapple on my pizza. I really do. I enjoy that. I love it. I'll throw some pepperoni on there. But eating makes me happy.
How is that a problem starter?
It's a big problem starter. What? That's one of the biggest debates out there. It's yes.
What to put on your pizza?
No, it's yes or no to pineapple on pizza.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's problematic. Some people, if I go outside, we go outside right now. Some people will let us have it for that one.
So when you came from Jamaica, did you come from with your family? How old were you when you came?
I was 7.
You were 7.
Yeah, I was 7. So I came with my mom. So my mom and I, we really had a tight relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She comes from a big family, and I also come from a big family on my other side. So
Okay.
my grandmother has 17 kids.
What? What? Okay,
So
okay.
she had-
Family's amazing, and the
It's a-
more you have, the better.
You see what I'm saying? And then on the other end, my dad had 14. So it was a
What?
big, and then so out of all of that, my mom and I were really the tightest.
I have to say, you saying that makes sense with the kind of like wanting to help and the feed the people, which we'll get into that a
Okay.
little bit more. As I was mentioning to you,
Yeah.
my husband watches the show faithfully,
Let's
and when
go.
he knew that kind of like your business is about
Detailing.
car detailing, and he was like, make sure you ask him about good soaps that would be good for a car. So before you get to that, I think it's a really great kind of like coming up and starting a business story. Tell me, because it's really interesting how you started your business. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your detailing business. How did you start it, and kind of where is it at right now?
We actually just celebrated our 3rd year. Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, we're coming up this year on our 3rd year anniversary, and it started, actually, I had COVID. So I was home. I was in quarantine at home, and it went out as a Facebook post. It was really like, hey, I'm gonna go, when I come back out, I'm gonna come vacuum your cars while you're at home or while you're at work. And then I put up a post on my story. I was vacuuming my own car because you got to take care of yourself first before you can do anybody else. So I went.
Plus, you need something to show.
That's what
like this is what it could look like. This is what your car could
That's
look
exactly
like.
what, and that's what they went with, because somebody saw the video and they were like, "Hey, how much, And we started that off of the strength that this is something that could be a service to people, but we could also grow it And now 3 years later, we're at the point where we've got regular clientele. We've got access to just different markets of different demographics of people. Like we service businesses now rather than not just the individual client. Like, yeah, I'm still coming. We'll still go to your house. We'll go to your office. We'll go wherever you go to church. We'll go to the beach with you. But we really are building those relationships with like businesses in the community because we want them to know like we do good business, because not everybody, you know, I've seen, it's been a lot of growth since the pandemic, but.
And a lot of learning curve and people having to be creative about how they do things.
They had to be creative because your back was against the wall. The job that you thought was gonna cut it for the next 10 years, that lifespan just went depleted almost. And you're like, some people started from the bottom, like started from square one. Brand new lives, brand new careers, brand new everything, and that's great. You know, so
it's giving you perspective too, because now I'm finding, and I don't know about you, but I'm finding that people are really understanding their non-negotiables. Like, how did we ever not work remote? You know what I mean? I'm like watching my grandkids, and I'm like, you know, typing out a memo, and I love it.
And you got it. But you said something like those non-negotiables were we really paying attention to those before? You know, were we mindful of that? Because we kind of just thought.
We knew it, but we didn't act on it.
Exactly.
And I love that you acted on it. So you've been in business for almost 3 years. You've got regular people.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we talk about services, it's really about, you're really kind of investing in the individual that's the professional, but before, and that's really what people, you pay an auto mechanic X number for the parts, but you're paying a different kind of thing for the skilled labor. But for those individuals, and you know, we've got a, you know, first, and we talked about this before, that sometimes people's cars are their babies, right? So what advice would you give for individuals, and make sure you answer my husband's questions.
I'm ready.
Or I will hear about
ready.
it. So
I'm
give us some
ready.
advice of some good car care techniques in the different seasons too.
Okay.
So right now we're in summer. So what would be really good tips for, if, you know, make the investment to have a professional do it, but if not, just like you did, that you were doing it for yourself, give us some advice.
First thing I'll say in the summer is you want to try and not clean your car outside directly in the sunlight, because whatever you wipe down, regardless of if we come to do it or if you do it yourself with some wipes, it's gonna evaporate really quickly, and so you really won't get that clean that you want, because instead of moving it around, it's just gonna sit in that one spot and it's just gonna soak.
Till you get to it and dry it.
So
I never realized that.
Tip number one,
Good
I would try to find a shaded area, like under a tree, or wait till the sun goes down earlier in the day, or later in the day when the sun is not.
That's my husband's ticket. First thing in the morning.
That's it.
Right, honey?
See, he's on it.
He's on it.
And I'll tell him, like I'll tell you too, as far as the cleaner solution, there's an eco-friendly solution that we use. So there's a green. I'll give you the product so you can show them, but it works smarter for you, or it works harder for you. What I mean by that is you spray this, so not only is it like friendly to the environment, but you spray it, it sits there and it soaks up kind of the dirt that's in there, and it lifts it off the mat. So that way, instead of having
carpets inside.
Yeah, so instead of having to scrub really hard, it's working for you. So all you kind of do is just boom, go back over it. So I'll send that to you, and also check out Chemical Guys. I have no problem supporting other businesses.
Are they from Bridgeport too?
No, they're not. They're a bigger brand, and I trust their products, because I noticed that we've been supporting their business since day one, and they've helped our business get the quality of clean that we keep our clientele happy with. So like, they're consistent, and that allows us to be consistent. So Chemical Guys, they've got a range of products, from glass cleaner, air freshener, interior, you name it, they got it.
My husband used to work for a car wash.
Really?
Do you have any rituals that you, like back in the day, they used to play car wash on a Friday. You know, that's a car wash.
Oh my goodness.
So every time he hears it, we make some kind of reference to that. Do you have any rituals with is it just you right now that's the business, or do you have other people that help you out?
Yeah,
is it your family? Because you've got a huge family.
I know. My daughter actually helps me out A little bit. She's helped us clean some stuff, pass flyers out.
How old is she?
She just turned 7. Shout out to my daughter Logan. She just turned 7 for the July weekend.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
so she helps you out. What does she do? I love it when families do things together.
Pass out flyers. She came to me. She was like, Dad, like they got 2 shops. Where's Black Facts shop? Like we need to get a, so
she said that to you. I love that.
Promise, she don't mince words. She doesn't mince words.
I love it.
She was actually we'll talk more about Feed the People, but she's been a part of Feed the People with us too. So it's like, you really want to like you have an opportunity to like show them what's going on. You feel me? So it was like, I want her to see me and what I do.
Modeling behavior.
Yeah.
And I love that. And the fact that you have a big family kind of gives you even a little deeper insight. So let's wrap up with the tips. I will tell you, you know how you have like those disinfectant wipes in your car, like supposed to be like hand sanitizer?
Wait.
I was cleaning my dash with that. My husband had a fit. He's like, you're going to dry it. What are you doing? So what's good to have in your car to just, because it gets dusty. I don't even know what creates that, but it gets like, you come out of the car wash, they wipe it down, again, it's dusty within like a day. So what's a good thing to have in your car that you could have readily available to help you clean up?
First, as far as what you want to keep, Armor All is a well-known product. Those are going to be things that you invest in, like protectants. You know what I'm saying? Those are protectants, sealants that are going to cover the product for you. They're going to cover your surfaces, like those leathers, those different type of, that as soon as they wipe it down, it just seems like you can just see the stuff falling back. And that is because sometimes the wrong towel is being used. So they might be using not a dirty towel, but it's just the material has these flakes and this residue that comes off. So every time you wipe it, it's just going up in the air and then settling back down. So you got to just pay attention to little stuff like that too.
My husband puts like the Armor All on the tires, and he's like, I'm always like scraping my tire on like
so
the
he
sidewalk.
Can see it? Well, listen,
I can't even hide it, yo. He like knows everything.
I'll tell him if you want to come and train and you want to join Black Vac and be a mentor and experience, tell your husband he's got a spot. Well,
I gotta see if I loan him out because he's like, stop volunteering me. So let's go into a little bit. So these are the things you do for summer. What are some tips for winter? Because the fall's coming. You would think that it's like 2 months, but it's going by really fast. We're already in the middle of July.
That's really
So what are some good like winter tips? And then we'll transition over into Feed the People, because I definitely want to hear about that.
The first thing I would say for the transition season, like that fall winter season, is the timing of your cleaning. Like schedule yourself to like, if you know you're in your car actively, get ready for like a thorough cleaning going into the winter, because you don't really want to do too much in the winter. You don't really want to have too many cleanings, because either you're wasting your money because it's going to get dirty again with the snow or whatever is going on, or the product, it's just not going to, if you're not bringing it into a detailed shop, now you're faced with a bunch of different challenges. So the first thing I really tell people is like schedule out know your car, know your schedule, know how often you're in your car. If you're in it a few times a week, or you just drive and you don't live in your car
every day,
and you don't live in your car.
I think I live in my car, but I don't live in my car.
Some people live in their car. It's a second home. How many times you get home, you had a long day, you park it, and you just stay there for a minute. You don't even get out the car.
I was in it today. Listen, or I'm like, I have a short sleeve shirt on, so I have like my sweater in there, I've got a hanger in there,
You brought the hanger out too?
I have the hanger in the car. I'm not even gonna lie. And then I leave it in there. My husband's like, what the heck is clicking in here? So it's like,
metal hanger
and men and women care for their vehicles differently. My husband is such a, looks at it, like wants to keep it neat. I'm like, there's a piece of paper, I wrote on something, I stuck it on the side, and I just keep adding to the side. It just makes him crazy. And it's like the little things. So for the winter, I think one of the things that, like this, when it snows and the sand, like when you go get your car, even though it's the winter, should you tell them to like
rinse it
like the bottom and all that, like all the time, or just like specifically like winter time?
I wouldn't do it all the time. We wouldn't recommend that, only because it's going to dry out the material. because it's so cold, the water is going to dry up much quicker. And so if you're going metal, cold water, that over a constant use, that's going to dry it out. So now your color is going to start to wear. Now you go back into the spring and you're like, oh, I got to get a new color job because I dried out my paint in the winter, just rinsing it over and over again.
And that's expensive to repaint your car. Come on. So I'm going to ask you what people probably want to know. What is the craziest thing you've cleaned out of somebody's car? And he's like, I know my clients, Carmen, so don't you start.
No, you try to get me in trouble.
You got to tell us the good stuff,
Jeez, man, there was a diaper in there the other day. There was a diaper in there. We have seen, it's really the food. It's really the food that gets you, because food gets in places you don't expect it to be. And it's the type
I agree with that. I found random French fries in my car.
The French fries, that's nice. The French fries is cool. When you go under the panel and you put the vacuum down there and you hear like peanuts just being going up.
I know nothing about that, Roz. I know nothing.
Turn the camera that way. So it's like, but I would definitely say the diaper took it. We haven't found anything super gross, like to the point where nobody came back to the job yet. But it's it gets pretty interesting, especially when you get to like pet hair and stuff. When you get a lot of like furries in there, that's where people really go crazy. Is if they have pets, they want their car really clean. Or if it really smells, you might have like a dog, like a pet odor or something like that. Or again, people who live in their cars. If you're like a working entrepreneur, you might have something spill in your car. You might have something that's been in there for a little bit. And so we treat the cars in different type of ways. You might not need a full detail every single time.
What is the favorite car that you've detailed other than your own? Unless you're going to tell us what kind, like it's a Maserati or something.
Oh, I love Maseratis. My favorite car has to be, it's a black Mercedes-Benz AMG. And I'm a big fan of the AMGs, just the body of it. And we got some good footage of that job that we were cleaning. And that's part of our content now. So AMGs, you give me a call. We got you.
Oh, that's so important. So I want to spend a little bit of time because we've already been talking for like 20 minutes.
You're kidding.
And it goes by really fast. So I want to get into just your Feed the People. So tell me how that started and kind of, because it's official, it's a 501c3 organization, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about how that started, what you've done, and kind of where you're going with it next.
Feed the People started as we were on the corner of the street. We literally just took like 2 tables and we put the tables out there. We got some pizzas. We couldn't buy the pineapple at the time. So
No.
they couldn't get the pineapple on there. But we got the pizzas, we got the sandwiches, and then it went from just the food on the first time to the second time we did a feeding, and we kind of gave some notice, like social media and stuff like that. People were like, hey, we got some stuff to donate. So people donated blankets, care packages. People donated food. They're like, hey, I'll buy a box. I'll get some, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that was around Thanksgiving of the pandemic, 2020. And so by Christmas, when we did our first Christmas event, and what happened was we'll go out in the streets and we'll like hand out flyers. Hey, we're gonna be over there at this type of spot. You know what I'm saying? So like, we want the people who need the things to know that we're coming, not just the people that we know, you know? Because it's nothing if nobody shows up. So it's really nothing. So
or if you've got nothing to give.
If we got nothing to give. So by the time the holiday one came around, we had done such a good job of marketing and letting everybody know there was a line there waiting for us to set up by the time we got there.
Wow.
And when we saw that, it was like, all right, we got something. And that was before any of the paperwork, anything really was official. So we just, over the next couple of years, we've just been on a journey to really like secure that, set ourselves up, and establish ourselves as an official presence to be a recognized organization now. So we take ourselves more seriously, and other people could take us seriously.
as I mentioned to you when we were talking about that, because you just had a huge event last month, right? It was in June.
Father's Day weekend.
And
shout out to all the dads out there.
I'm like, I know he's gonna plug that at some point. He's sure. And a mutual friend of ours, Ava Vega, who is like an assistant vice president at MNT, she could not stop singing your praises about the event that you did, how you were giving away clothes. Tell me a little bit about that, specifically about that event. Are you doing it again? And then how can people find you to support you, help you, partner with you?
Yeah, first of all, just like you said, Eva and M&T Bank, they came through as a big push and a big support. They helped sponsor our event, and they made it possible for us really to have just additional resources and, a team that really supports our organization. So now we're at the point where we gave away food, we gave away so many clothes. It was like
clothes. I heard it was clothes, resources, information,
care packages, bags for them to take. Next time we're gonna have barbers, God's willing, on site so we can really get the free haircuts that we wanted to. But the weather that week was really spotty, so we almost didn't even hold the event. Like we really almost canceled it. And so the barbers were affected by like the electricity and stuff.
Yeah.
So M&T, Feed the People, that was our first one for the year as an official nonprofit now. That, again, just like I told you, wasn't our first event or it wasn't our first feeding. Now that we're set up to be structured, the plan is, going forward, we're making it happen on a regular basis. And it's not just, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be just you only see us on an event day or you see us when we have something coming up. The goal now is to create regular service to the community because we got other resources that, we don't got to take it out of our own pockets and all the other stuff, because people are willing to contribute and help in the community. That's what we realized. That's the one thing that, especially Eva, because of the work that she put in with these relationships.
She's such a community activist. Her big thing was like, she goes, the food has to look like the community that lives there. So she was saying how she was helping you contact businesses that would give Spanish food, Chinese food, like all of that, so that it would look like the community in which it serves. And that says a lot about the organization and partnership and collaborative. So that under the John Street Bridge, they do some things every Sunday. April Barron, who's amazing and leads that, let me know if you want to connect with her, because on days that you're not doing event days, because here's what I've learned about people that want to volunteer or want to do good. Like if you don't engage them and you don't ask them, they don't ask again. So I don't want to miss the opportunity. I think we put up, what's the email and the phone number for us to reach you?
So the email and phone number is 203-828-8910. And then the email is Rozha, ROZHA .pessoa@gmail.com. And that is it's the simplest way for us to really communicate about the different things that we have going on. Because once you reach out, we're able to just point you in the right direction and facilitate, where our resources are best available and how do we get to them. So everything on the table is there.
So tell us a little bit about what's next for Black Vac and for Feed the People.
Feed the People, I guess we'll put it out here, God's willing. Our next event is actually going to be a suicide prevention walk.
Oh, wow.
That we're going to be hosting, God's willing, in September, which is National Suicide Awareness Month. And so along the way from now until September, we'll be working with some community events, like the East Side Day is coming up with the NRZ. That's going to be July 29th, I believe. M&T Bank also has another event coming up in August that Feed the People will be present for as well. So we're not going anywhere. And then also, just like you said, like the off days from events, we're still curating those regular feedings. But the next big target on our agenda is the suicide walk in September.
I think that's amazing to just keep going. And if you guys are interested in helping in any capacity, being a mentor, being, someone to help with or
Volunteer.
donate, volunteer. I mean, make sure that you're reaching out to the email and the phone number. So I'd like to just so what's next? So you told me what's next for Feed the People. What's next for Black Vac?
Black Vac is going outside. We are going to be outside all summer. You'll see us at the beaches. You'll see us at your local restaurants. You're going to see us at churches. You're going to pull up to different jobs, and we're going to be servicing those businesses. We're really establishing, again, like the relationships and the presence in the community, because the first 3 years, it was almost like a test run. It was like, yo, does this work? Like, do people want it? Can we sustain it? And we've checked off, plenty of the boxes, thank God. And so now it's really time to expand. It's time to grow. It's time to scale, because we've only been operating in a certain area, but Connecticut's so huge alone. There's cars everywhere.
So do you pop up, or is it just by appointment only?
It's by appointment only.
Okay.
Our pop-up cleaning events, those are going to be posted. Our website is under reconstruction right now, so once the website is back up, you'll see all of the pop-up events. So we'll do like discount sales, the little community events that help us because still funneling money back into the community, and we're also creating jobs for people. We also create an opportunity. That's another goal too. It's how do we like help other people pick up part-time work? How do you pick up full-time work? Different credentials that may not necessarily, we can always help you up and give you a platform. So
that's awesome. So, and then for you, what's next for you? Because we were joking about that before. I'm like, you got so many jobs and so many things. And he was like, but I'm Jamaican, that's why. So I didn't say it, you said it, and I love it. So what's next for you?
I used to work 4 jobs at one time. I'm
right there with you.
You know what I'm saying? So what's next for me is a vacation.
I hear you. Where are you planning to go?
It's vacation. I don't know. We'll see where the passport takes us. And really, the goal is once we're settled and the systems and the businesses are rolling and kind of just in motion, then I'll take a little breather. But for now, I'll take a nap here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Take a nap, help other people, feed them, partner, and all of that.
That's all
So tell us again how we can reach you to talk about Black Vac or Feed the People. How do we reach you? Tell me one more time.
So we got the email. Of course, my name is rozha.pessoa, PESSOA @gmail.com. Phone number, the 203-828-8910 is the direct line. And then also our social medias. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm active on both.
As your name on Facebook?
My name is on Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram, for those that's on it, it's Flash, FLASH, @AT29, because I'm 29 until September.
Just tell me all his business.
Yeah, it's up.
So, Roz, thank you so much for all your great advice about car care. Thank you for all the things you're doing to help out the community and make a difference, not only by who you are, but what you do to serve our community. I thank everybody for tuning in for another week where we celebrate individuals making a difference in the world. We'll see you here next time on Soundview Community Media TV. Follow us on Facebook, and we'll see you next week at 6:30. Have a great day.